Welcome to Life Fit with the DVD. I'm back again with another video, and I am 5 for 5 this week, so that's always a good thing. Um, Happy to have done that. Um, but today I wanted to talk about why you shouldn't let your past haunt you. And I was thinking about this morning. I was in a conversation with a few people that uh, it was interesting because they had brought up something that happened on my 21st birthday. And it was something that I had completely kind of forgotten about. And it's not that I had forgotten, it was more, I hadn't thought about it in a long time. And it was my 21st birthday, and basically I got inebriated, as what tends to happen with the tradition in the U.S. And well, I had a great time later, just dancing in front of a bunch of people, and I was just being really creative and silly, and it was a lot of fun. I I don't really remember it, but of course somebody had some video footage, which you know is kind of funny to look at in retrospect. But we didn't even look at it. They just brought it up that it happened, and it was interesting, kind of going down memory lane because I hadn't thought about that sort of thing in a while, and when that was brought up, it kind of triggered a little bit of kind of residual emotional stuff around, whoa, like, this is where I was back then, and this is where I am now, and it was kind of a weird feeling. Not that it was like a bad thing or something that I regret or anything like that, because once again I had a blast back then. I had a lot of fun, but it was interesting because it was an acknowledgement that, oh, this is how they remember me, right? And that remembrance of me is just so different than how I think about myself now. And it was almost kind of a reflection of, well, you know, that how I feel about myself now, and like, where I am now is very different from where I was back then, with, where I was in life, what I was trying to do, trying to find my direction, my purpose, and just kind of some of the like weird, feelings around that whole time period, right? Um, and thinking about it once again was more so just trying to go through, well, what's going on here? Like, is there anything that is, that I'm experiencing that, that it's wrong here? And ultimately, it was like, no, actually, everything's fine here. There's nothing to regret. There's nothing that's wrong. I had a great time with that experience. And ultimately, it's been an experience that has helped make me who I am now. And just thinking about that is, I think, something that's really important, because I think a lot of people like to bury their past. They don't like to think about who they used to be, who they were. It makes them feel weak and not enough. And there can be a lot of insecurity around, the past things and what people have done. Maybe they've done things to other people that, they really do regret. Um, and not that that is, one way or another. I mean, we all go through life and we make mistakes. There's things that we wish that we could have done differently when we think about them in the past. And ultimately, going down this looking at the past route is a good thing in the short term. However, if you continue to dwell on it years later, if you continue to just let these things play on repeat in your head, they really can bring you down in the present and prevent you from becoming the person that you want to be, from achieving your own potential. And it's just interesting kind of reflecting on this whole situation for me, because once again, that whole thing has been resolved in my own mind and like what happened back then. But it just made me think about, whoa, okay, this is, they remember this relic of a memory. And how do other people reconcile this sort of thing? Are they able to forgive themselves, or not even forgive themselves, but are they able to look at all of these past things and that they used to do, and do they reflect on them? Do they how do they feel about them? Have they gone through that process? Or do certain people just move on and they never think about their past again? Um, it's interesting to think about. But once again, you shouldn't be letting what you had done in the past haunt you in the present. And ultimately, just a situation like this isn't something that happens every day. Many people are able to, proceed through their lives and they never even have to look at their past, right? They just move on and then the memory never comes up again. Time helps you forget, right? Does time heal all wounds? Not necessarily, but it can help you move on and just not remember it. But it doesn't make you immune from that wound hurting, or that sort of scar being potentially having a light shined upon it again. But ultimately, this is about forgiveness, right? If you ever have a situation like this where you have something awkward come up with some weird feelings, whether it be something for you have forgiven yourself, or you regret or not, you need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive yourself for what happened, and maybe forgive another person. Um, but ultimately, it's important to try and move on and to not just beat the dead horse thinking about something, dwelling on it, remembering how you felt, and especially if it's a negative feeling. Just accept it, that is who you were at that period of time, and that it was a learning experience that you needed. Now, if it hurt somebody else, well, hopefully you told them that you're sorry. And if you are thinking about, oh, I should have told them that, well, then maybe it would be a useful activity to tell them that, because then it would let you off the hook. However, you don't necessarily need to do that. However, at the same time, it can help repair your relationships with that person, especially if you have any sort of relationship with that person still. So, once again, I just thought I would talk about this today. I had a bulleted list of how to kind of talk about, some reasons why you shouldn't let your past haunt you, but I just kind of wanted to freeform it, given, the experience I had this morning, and really just talk about it, because it was kind of a confusing thing to me, and I'm like, what's going on here, right? You got to ask yourself, what's going on? And what I did to work through it was I just journaled, and now I'm talking about it, which is always a helpful thing to articulate, where you're at with a certain thing, and there doesn't need to be a conclusion either, right? But at the same time, it's good. It's good to reflect on this, at least in this situation, because I can make a video. But if there are things that you're dwelling on, that you feel bad, that you're having a hard time moving on from, well, it starts with yourself and trying to process what's going on and to forgive yourself. And yeah, sometimes you need help doing that as well. So if you want any help, I would love to hear about any situations you've gone through. Let me know in the comments. I love hearing all sorts of different people's experience, and just seeing what they've gone through. Obviously, we all have a lot of different experiences, and well, I mean, sometimes you need help kind of processing them and what has gone on, and all sorts of emotions around that, how you kind of think about that on a variety of different levels. So, once again, if you want any help, let me know. I would love to help. And yeah, if you like this video, like and subscribe. That would mean a lot to me as well. But anyway, there goes me finishing this 5th video here this week. And yeah, thanks for watching. So until next time, I'll be back next week. See you later.